welcome back. Now we're going to ask Tom to tell us a little bit about a personal find of his life, Miss Greta. I think it's such a wonderful story, so please share it.
Okay. It was 1998, and I own a deli down in Dana Point.
Right.
And I had promised that I would not date any deli customers.
Oh.
However, she came in one day and she ordered a freshly squeezed carrot juice. We have this big old carrot juice maker, so it takes a minute or two to make it. And she went and sat down at a table, and I looked at her, and I thought she was maybe 8, 7 years younger. She was attractive, but she had an inner peace or beauty about her that's very hard to describe. And I broke my rule about not asking out deli customers, and I walked around the counter and up to her, and I said, "Would you like to have dinner with me?" And she's going, "I'm here for a carrot juice, you know." But she came right back and she said, "That would be lovely." We went out 3 days later, and she said, "I knew you had this deli, so you're pretty visible in Dana Point, and you're a newspaper columnist, so I knew if you were a bad boy that night, I had a way to get back at you."
Oh.
And that was...
That's why she said yes.
Yes, and that was 11 years ago, and we've been together, and it virtually changed my life. It really did. She's absolutely... She was a special education teacher for 31 years, so you know the type of person that she was, Pat, yeah.
Oh, I know that it's been such a good story. I love following it. Every now and then you give us bits and pieces when you travel together and stuff. I think it's great. Well, let's go back to what we're else talking about.
Okay.
Many older singles do shy away from the internet. Did any of the couples in your book use the internet to meet? Yeah,
it was a surprise. Over half of the couples met on the internet in a whole variety of different websites.
Really?
Now, one, which we won't mention, dominated. Maybe it was just because of the people that are in my newsletter and stuff, but over half met online. And that's why that message is important to get out to people, that it can happen on the internet. There's a lot of negatives about internet dating, but there's enough success stories to you got to keep going at it.
Got to keep trying.
Yeah.
Don't be like me and back off and say, I'm not going to do that anymore.
Correct.
The internet creates kind of long distance relationships.
Sure
I mean,
does.
because you're over computers and that kind of thing. You know, obviously there are some that work because you've got some in your book. But can people really build a relationship from far apart like that? They
can, and by the very nature of the internet, you're going to have long-distance relationships. You know, that's what it kind of does for you. Both people have to really want to be together badly.
Okay.
If one does and one doesn't, it's not going to work. But for it to be kind of a success, if they want to live together or be together on a daily basis, one person has to move. And that's very difficult.
How about hide a little meet in the middle?
Yeah, well, that may be, but I don't think moving to a new location is a good idea for a couple, because then they won't know anybody.
Yeah. No, I was being
facetious. I know you were, but that's a consideration, because, well, maybe we should go to New Orleans, or someplace like that. But yes, it can work. Lots of challenges, and both parties have to be very secure with themselves, so that they don't start thinking, wonder what he's doing tonight, wonder what she's doing tonight. And they have to have the wherewithal financially to get together. Somebody has to travel to come and see each other. But there are enough of those success stories that, yes, they can work with an asterisk.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. Do you have any cautions that you want to give to people that are using the internet?
Or the internet?
Yeah.
If it sounds too good to be true, don't even question it, because it is too good to be true. And now, Pat, there's a tremendous number of these scams going on. What happens, somebody is very lonely, let's say a new widow, and is on a dating site. These scammers know that, and they work, oh, you're the most beautiful thing, I want to come and be with you, this, and they lull the person into confidence, and then well, I'm overseas, I'm working in Nigeria, I'm working in England, whatever it is. Oh, I can't cash my last paycheck. Can you cash it for me? Just wire me, merely $2,000 or $3,000, and you're going to get my whole paycheck when I get there. I'm on my way to see you. And you have to be very careful. So don't be gullible.
Don't be gullible. In this day of older men seeking younger women,
My goodness.
never heard of that. Is there hope for women who are older?
Well, of course there is. Here again in the new book, 20% of the women who met men were older. And the average age was 5 years, which means some were older than that, some were a little closer to the men's age. So age at our age should not be a factor. And too many men don't understand that, and they are missing great opportunities. I mean, you date someone younger to your age, you remember the same things, you know the same music. You get tired at the same time, you know?
That's a very key issue.
Yes,
It really is.
So yes, there is lots of hope.
What about people who've never been married?
That's another thing that came up in the book that I was surprised about. People who had never married, and they're 55 or something like that. Of the 116 people, 4 had never been married, and guess what? 3 of them are now married, and I don't know, the 4th one is still, they're on the fence a bit, but it happened.
That's
so that was
great.
very encouraging too, because you've never been married and you've given up, and all of a sudden you meet somebody and they want to settle down because you don't have the baggage
Right.
that a lot of us have.
Yeah, that's true. No, don't have the children, don't have the grandchildren and all of that.
That's right.
What are the most important pieces of advice, because we've got about a minute,
Okay.
you learned from writing your book that you can give to older people?
Don't give up hope. Get off the couch and out of the house, get involved in activities you enjoy, and meet new people. And a very, very critical thing is attitude. Positive attitude. Just remember to smile, to be upbeat, because that can turn somebody off if you have a bad attitude. And be yourself,
Right.
and don't take rejection. Don't
Don't-
take it personally.
don't take it
Yeah, don't take
personally,
it personally,
yeah.
because it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And if you follow those things, you're going to be fine.
That's good advice, Tom. It's always such a thrill to talk to you. I can personally really recommend Tom's weekly column. It's very enlightening, and I think it's one that it's entertaining, but it's very informative. And I'd really recommend his wonderful new book, or any of the books that Tom's written. If you're out there and you're over 50 and you're looking to be dating, take a chance and pick up one of these books and read it and enjoy it, because he has great information. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a really good evening.